Good morning guys, welcome back to the channel. Okay, so we're down at Abergele and Penzance train station today, which you'll have seen already in the title. We're just going to talk about the Abergele rail disaster. Happened a long time ago, back in 1868, involving the Irish mail train, a service that ran between London Euston and Holyhead, linked up with the Irish ferry over to Dublin. It was part mail train and part passenger train, which is how it got its name, the Irish Mail. It remained Irish Mail for right up until 2002, when Virgin, who were operating the service at the time, decided that they didn't want any named locomotives, or trains as you would say these days, so they ditched the name, but the service still runs. So yeah, we'll go over what happened that day. So it was the 1st of August 1868. The Prince of Wales loco was the train pulling it this time. It was the most powerful one of its generation, apparently. Really powerful steam engine. So it left Euston, or London Station as back was then. We know it as London Euston these days. Headed north for Chester. Now pulled in at Chester around 4 hours later, around 11:30, and 4 more cars were added to the train. So it was already pulling, I think it was 4 passenger cars and the mail train, the mail carriage and a tender. So they added 4 more cars to it. That was around 11:30 in the morning. So it was running about 5 minutes late at this point, but it leaves Chester. So around 12:39, 12:40, it passes through here at Abergele, heading towards Holyhead. Holyhead was its next scheduled stop after Chester. Yeah, so it passes around here around 20 to 1 in the afternoon. That's where things start to go wrong, because just ahead of it was a goods train which had just left Abergele at around 12:15. It was a slow moving train, 43 carriages long. So it was decided that they were going to move the goods train to sidings to let this Irish mail train through. Now the problem was, being so long, the sidings weren't big enough to take the whole train. So they had to split the train. The last 6 carriages from the goods train had to be split to go into sidings the other side of the track. Now things went badly wrong at this point, because during this operation, the 6 wagons that were going to the other side of the tracks, the brakes weren't put on, and during the shunting, the slightest nudge set it off rolling, and it started heading back towards Abergele, which would be coming towards us now from Llandullas. So I say the express train had just left Abergele, so there's absolutely nothing the brakesmen could do. They couldn't catch up with the train to put the brakes on, which meant really, the impact was inevitable in the end. So now you've got the 2 trains heading for each other. The Irish Mail has already left Abergele. The loose goods wagons, they're heading backwards towards Abergele, which meant an impact. There's nothing anyone could do to stop it. Now the driver of the Irish Mail, a guy called Arthur Thompson, he was a 41-year-old from Manchester. As he approaches out of a curve, sees the approaching wagons heading towards him. Realising there was nothing at all he could do, he shuts the engine, the steam off to the engine, and advises his fireman to jump. His fireman didn't jump, he was killed. Arthur Thompson, he did jump, and he did survive. He did survive the accident, but he died 2 months later. Having jumped, he was killed from the debris that resulted in the impact. He received head injuries, and he died 2 months later. So after the impact, some of the front carriages were derailed, and It turns out that the goods wagons were carrying paraffin. Now, carriages on trains in them days weren't like the ones we have today. They were made of wood, and as a combination of the paraffin and the wood, the inferno that followed was just insurvivable. Despite locals, there were farm workers and quarry workers that witnessed the accidents, formed a bucket chain to fetch seawater to the fire, but realising there was just nothing he could do. The fire was just too bad that he couldn't save anyone in the forward carriages, which were first class carriages. So terrible accidents. At the inquest that followed the accident, a few months later, the two brakesmen who were responsible for not applying the brakes to the freight wagons, they were charged with manslaughter, but they were later acquitted at a trial the following year. The station master at Llandullas, he was also heavily reprimanded, as he shouldn't have instructed the shunting to take place when there was an approaching express train. So there was really, I suppose, 3 people at fault. As I understand it from what I've read, nobody really was punished, if you like, for the accident. Yeah, so there you go, guys. That's briefly what happened on that day. What I'll do is I'll leave a couple of links in the description. There is more in-depth details to what went on. I've only given you a brief description, really, of what happened on that day. But yeah, I'll leave some links for you to read. It really is an interesting read. It really does go into depth as well about the lead up to the accident and really what happened after it as well. Okay guys, so we've come up from the train station now. I've brought you up to St Michael's Church in Abergele. This is where the mass grave is for all these poor victims of this terrible accident. So I'm going to turn the camera around and I'll show you. Right, this is it, guys. Like I said earlier in the video, these poor people were so badly burned, there was just no telling who was who in this terrible tragedy. So this is all you can do, really, is bury them in this mass grave. I suppose today, with all the technology we have, DNA and dental records and so on, this would never happen in today's world. Such a mass grave. But yeah, back in 1868, this is all they could do, unfortunately. Now you see all the names on the stone of the 33 victims. And it brings the story to life for me. I can stand there and tell you guys the story and tell you what happened on that day, but then you see all the names on the stone there, and it just brings the whole story to life. It just makes it that more real, doesn't it? Really sad story, and it was so avoidable. Yeah, so it was just so avoidable, wasn't it? You know, it was human error that caused this. You know, the guys on the cargo wagons there didn't put the brakes on, and that was it. All hell let loose. Okay guys, so I'm going to end this video here. I usually say at the end of all my videos, I hope you enjoyed it. I don't know if that's the right word to say on this one, but I hope you found it interesting. Like I say, it is a little bit of local history. You may have known about it, you may not. Or you may have known about it and but didn't really know what happened. So I hope this little video has made everything a little bit clearer on this. So thanks for watching, guys. Anyway, don't forget to hit that like button for me, subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.